On Snowball Earth, there are some resources which are so incredibly rare, we have to find alternate methods for gathering them, and using the Holy Pan is one of those alternate methods. Welcome everyone, my name is Ryan, and we are back with more of our Polar Challenge here in Vintage Story, and we're getting started right away next to our little igloo here by the hot spring. I did spend the entire night panning all evening. While the sun was down, I was busy. I didn't sleep a wink, and unfortunately I did have to dip into our supplies of fat in order to maintain and not starve while I was working on it. So we've only got a few pieces left, but we're going to get out there bright and early and do some hunting right away. But of course, before then, I wanted to show you what we ended up with. So unfortunately, no temporal gear yet, but that's one of the things I'm going to keep panning until I get my hands on. Of course, it's going to be the only way we can set our spawn in this world. And yes, if you're curious, Homo Sapiens maps do actually have temporal gears and regular gears, which you can get from panning. Of course, that's what we're playing on, a Homo Sapiens map with some adjustments, such as the fact that we do have a map. But regardless, it is still ultimately a very challenging world, although I certainly have made some concessions and installed a few mods that will help us along the way. But let's whip together a couple more baskets here because I'm pretty full. Yeah, we don't have a lot of space, and I've got now a bunch of odds and ends that I'm going to want to keep. Every one of these resources we got is super precious, and of course, the really good find is the clay. That's what I was referring to in my little intro. The resource which is super hard to find in this world is clay, and we've got 7 of them now, so that's fantastic. Let's whip together, I think, 2 more little baskets will probably be good enough, and we'll just stick them on the walls right here next to these others. But there we go. Yeah, that looks good to me. All right, so let's load these up with the extraneous things. Like I said, 22 copper nuggets, that's phenomenal. We will definitely be utilizing those. And I think the first thing we're going to do after we come home from our little hunt is whip up a cooking pot and probably a mold for a pickaxe, if we have enough clay. But don't worry, I'm going to spend another night just panning, dedicated to the holy art of panning. So we'll put away this stuff. All right, I might go ahead and whip up a couple more spears and maybe a backup tool or two, but once we get situated, we're going to hit the trail and start looking for some more penguins. All right, so whipping up a couple extra spearheads as promised, but otherwise, there we go. We should be good to go. I think I'm just going to have to munch these other 2 pieces of fat here. Now, we've got quite a bit of flint. I think what I'll do is take us half of that away and just store it that way. We can still collect it nicely, and if we need to, we can whip up tools on the fly, but otherwise, it won't overstack, and I won't end up with 2 stacks of it. But anyway, you can tell I'm putting a lot of thought into my tiny little minuscule inventory space. So let's get out there. Like I said, it is time to journey out. Now I'm going to leave the hay bales. Let's take a look. I think I want to head over this direction. We've got open areas with some trees and stuff, so that looks like a good place, which we haven't explored too much of yet. And we are totally out of food now, so we've got to at least get some berries if we can, hopefully some penguins, or maybe even something a little bit bigger if we get lucky. But we do actually have some armor on. Made up some improvised body armor in the last episode, but it's not much for sure. It's a tier 0 in terms of its protective status, but it's better than nothing. So what do we got? And of course, we're always on the lookout for some clay, any extra flint. Oh, and a copper strike would be really nice too. But taking a look, we've got fantasy creatures about, such as goblins and orcs, in addition to the normal wildlife we have to deal with. Let's see. All right. I was trying to stay up here on the side of the snowy hill, as you can tell. Definitely much better visibility, but yeah, we're not going to be able to get a lot of the resources. Whew. Man, those penguins sometimes scare me when I hear them. Alright, let's try a little bit of ranged. Penguins don't really run away. Very good. And I don't risk getting attacked by them as much, because these penguins are hostile. That's right, they will come at me. Not very well. They're not very good fighters, but they certainly do get hostile. Alright, now let's also be careful. Last time I was in this general vicinity with the penguins, I heard... Oh, here's one of the ones I killed last time, I think. No, it's got large bite marks on it. Oh boy. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I heard some wolves the last time, so let's be extremely careful. Keep our wits about us. Let's get our spears. Alright. I don't know if we could really handle a wolf right now. Certainly not a bear. Might be able to down a wolf, but it would be a real test with these flint tools or weapons. Oh, beautiful. Alright. It's coming out nicely. Taking out this flock of Empire penguins is definitely beneficial, but just means we're going to have to travel extra far the next time we need food. Oh, man. Tell you, these penguins are pretty easy game, and they're bountiful too. Definitely making things much easier on me here with this meat, but of course it's not going to provide us with all the nutrients we need to really get our life total up. But that's more of a long-term goal. Although, let's see, 10 and 9, yeah. Bunch of feathers. Too many, in fact. I'm probably going to need to start dropping them or burning them. But we're not too far from the house, just up the banks a little bit. This is our little igloo over here. I want to keep looking around, though. Still got more penguins, and of course, there's a lot more resources I need, too. I actually started digging up some of the low fertility soil in this area too. Just thinking maybe down the road we can use it for our own farming. So far we only have two seeds. One for, I think, carrots and onions. Yeah, and of course the only way we're going to get those seeds is from the raccoon holes, or the raccoon nests, which appear as little holes in the trees. We found one. We've discovered one so far in this run, but have not come across a second one. And I'd really like to. So let's duck in under here. A lot of nice grass, but now we're officially in a forest. So that means we could definitely be seeing some bears and wolves, without a doubt. So we got to be very careful. And I've already seen a few of the orc creatures nearby, so I'm going to grab some of the grass. I don't think we're going to go in too deep to the forest, though. At least not now. We'll stick to the more open, snowy hills, I think, is probably our best, safest bet, at least. Alright, this looks pretty good. More penguins. But penguins aren't the only thing I want. Alright, yeah, I'm going to continue just to collect the basic stuff until hopefully I can come across something exciting, or I get tired of eating fat and we're first to go home. And of course, we're going to set up our first pit kiln too once we finally get back to camp. Well, the cold is definitely getting to me, so I'm about to head back, but just happened to notice we've got some actual fowl here. I think those are peahens. I'm not sure which exact variant they are, but that is a good sign to me, because these, I know for a fact, can be captured and domesticated. So that's really, really helpful for us. One day we're going to definitely try and capture some egg layers. Hopefully I can come across some muskox too. Domesticate some goat type. Muskox are technically goats. Alright, I gotta be careful because we've got polar bears potentially all around us. Plus I got some orcs on my left, but I can see, yeah, just off in the distance. Oh, the warmth. There's our little igloo over there, so it's in sight. I'm also trying to keep my eyes out, maybe if we come across any interesting caves like this, One way of maybe spotting some copper is just going down and exploring, you know. Totally safe for us. We just got to get some torches, but yeah, I haven't seen much. I did come across one surface lead, but that was it. That was it. Whew, dive right on in where it's nice and warm. Get warmed up. Let's go cook some of this food. Also, I think it's time, now that I was able to get, a decent amount of food, we're going to start to break down these emperor penguin skins and see if we can't whip together some furs. Using pelts and, of course, the fat to oil it up. Won't be an immediate process. We'll have to wait for it to cure, but the sooner we get that started, the sooner we can venture out for longer periods of time without this cold really setting in. And here we go. Of course, the cold by itself is not that big of a threat. We can always just stop and start a fire. But when you start to compound cold damage on top of like starvation, which is definitely an issue for us, that can really spell trouble. But we don't have to worry about it just yet. So what I am going to do is only cook a portion of this. Because, once we start to get a cooking pot ready, I'd like to make this into a stew. That's going to be much better, more efficient that way. But let's put some feathers in there and get this baby cooked up. Delicious poultry cooked with its own feathers. Oh, there's something kind of morbid and definitely disgusting about that premise. Oh boy, I've only got a few pieces of clay here. I don't want to accidentally waste any like that. Oh no. It's alright. I think we can finish this cooking pot. I only started with 6 pieces of the blue clay. Of course, acquired through the panning. There it is. Woohoo! Now we've got 3 left. You know what? I want to do the pickaxe mold, but let's not. I don't want to leave like a partially finished mold just sitting on the floor. That's a little bit annoying. So we won't do that. We will grab the poultry that's now fully cooked. Beautiful. I've got some sticks. I've got some dry grass on me. I think what we're going to do, let's try it right here. Yeah, let's just put this. Oh man, filling a pit kiln with only 1 item. It hurts me to do it, but here in the polar world, there are certain things that we just have to do, in order to maintain. Alright, so we'll get, I think, is it 8 for this? I don't know, it's been a while since I used firewood. Okay, just 4. Normally I'm at least doing peat, Okay, and with our torch, we should be good, nice and safe. I don't think this is going to burn. Will it burn my bed? We'll find out here shortly, but, alright, like I said, we let that burn out. Oh no, it is burning these. It is burning the bed. It is burning the bed. Okay, we're fine. Get rid of this. We'll just have to, you know what I'll do is I'll hang these up on the outside. Gotta be careful with these pit kilns. They are dangerous, but we keep it on that side and our stuff over here. And in fact, if I lay my bed like that, I think we're good. I believe it's got to be at least 2 spaces away, and then anything flammable won't burn. So, we should be good, but I'll keep my eye on it, and we'll just place these on the outside. There we go. Maybe it'll make it a little bit more visible from a distance. It's the only speck of green on the horizon. Alright, so there's that. We're good to go. We've got some food. Let's fill our bellies up here. And there's definitely other things we need to be attending to. Oh yeah, we're going to split up these pelts here. So if we put those in the grid with our knife, there it is. We should get some large raw hides. Now, I guess I'll just make all of them from that batch. What I want to do is look at the furs. So soaked hide, raw hide. I want to figure out exactly how many I need in order to oil this up. In other words, I don't want to be wasting fat, so I don't want to be just stuck with a pelt here. So let me look up the recipe, and then I'm going to oil up exactly the amount of hide we need. Okay, I think we need, that's number 4. So here's the recipes. We've got the fur coat, 1, 2, 3 large, and then the knee-high fur boots just takes 1 large. And the gloves themselves are another large, so just 5 of them is what we need. Okay, so I went ahead and oiled 1 up, and we just need 4 more. Beautiful. Now, again, we'll probably eventually want to oil some more of these just for repair work maybe at some point, but I think with all the limestone that's in the area, we're going to graduate to leather pretty quick. So I also want to save this fat and just conserve it for emergency food if we need it. Of course, it's also got other great properties such as sealing crock pots and a lot of other purposes, so that's fine. Now we'll put those away. These hides are just going to sit there and rot, but they might be good. They might be good for quite a while, especially in the sub-zero temperatures that we live in. But all right, that's going. Let's see, it's 6:30. Well, you know what time it is. I think it's time to break out the old pan. And I really do need to just extend. Yeah, there's the pan. We're going to have to go dig up some gravel, but I kind of want to extend the igloo here, at least partially over the water, because I was kind of getting nervous as I was panning all night. I mean, I was exposed. A polar bear could have just walked right up to me. And so I was kind of looking over my shoulder. Felt like I had to, so let's dig out a bit more of this stuff. Careful not to drop the sludgy gravel from above. And yeah, I think I'm just going to extend our little igloo a bit, make it safer so I can pan in peace. Alright, well, it's been a long night of panning. So far, no temporal gears. Alright, yeah, we'll probably call it quits now. Almost 5 a.m. We can see through the ice of our little igloo that the sun is almost up, but let's go through and check out what we got. So, very lucky find here with the spearhead. The flint spearhead, yeah, that's what it is. And we'll put that up on the wall for now. Got a couple extras, that's for when we go out hunting, but got a bit more copper, so that's great. Yeah, we're going to be using this, obviously, for our first pickaxe, pro pick, the prospecting pick, and we'll see what else. Probably a hammer, obviously, too. But, yeah, we're going to get most of our first couple runs of copper from panning, just considering how much we have to do. And I got a little bit more clay, so now I can whip up a bowl and maybe a couple of crock pots, too. Obviously, we'll need both for cooking and transporting the food effectively, but I've got a little bit more zinc. That's going to be great if we come across some bismuth. Yeah, then maybe we can make some bismuth bronze with it. But in addition, more arrowheads, some quartz. I'm going to hang on to that for sure. And we got more of these wool fibers, the limestones. I'm going to put the gravel away. We definitely need to go get some more of that too. I'm going to have to remember that. And now, for the last thing, take a look at this. I've got some metal scraps. You've probably come across this stuff before in your own adventures or even from panning yourself, but it's actually quite useful. And we're going to take a look why right now. So if we open this up, it is the main component for the scrap weapon kit. There it is. And all that takes is a rope, a stick, and one piece of metal scrap. So let's check that out and see what that creates. We're going to step outside. I had to switch the placement of the door to the opposite side just so I could cap this off over here. But we're going to actually grab some of the vines that I've been saving. Alright, let's make sure there's no polar bears around me. Okay, I think we're fine. It's a beautiful morning. And let's make a rope. There it is. So we do that, and boom. Oh, starting to starve. Alright, so we've got the scrap weapon kit now. Let's step back inside. Is the pit kiln still going? Yeah. I'm going to have to put some of the meat on the fire. I did actually eat a few more pieces of the fat, so it's good, I guess, that we didn't actually use it for the crafting. So we'll light up some more feathers, get that cooking, and then we're going to take a look at this scrap metal kit. So now that it's in the hotbar with an empty hand on the left, nothing in my offhand, in other words, I just hold down the right mouse button, give it a moment, keep holding it down. There it is. It produces a random weapon. And it's not the best. It's going to be a scrap weapon. But this time we got a scrap axe. Interesting. Now wait, I wonder if I can... Yeah, I actually cut down wooden plants with this. Okay. That's pretty cool. So that can help replace the flint axe for sure, for sure. But again, it's going to be a fairly useful weapon too. All right, let's get some food in this guy. And I think it's time for another run. Just out there looking for resources and stuff. Yeah. Keep marking trees with resin, looking for more copper. Oh, I found a little patch of berries over here that should be ready in a few days for sure. Maybe we should check out this forest. It's actually pretty close. Yeah, just a short little jaunt across the glaciers, and we'll be into some thick trees. Okay, the pit kiln is not quite done yet, but I wanted to go ahead and just whip up the bowl and the crock pot that we'll be using. There we go. So we'll leave those sitting there. Let's see, do I have any room to put some stuff away? One last space. Alright, that's perfect. I've got the chicken with me. We'll just stick these on the wall for when we come back. Alright, and we're off. We're going to turn southward, grab the spears. Should probably take one more spear at least. There we go. Alright, very good, very good. Extra one just in case. You know, these flint tools, they don't last long. They break really quick. But, alright, so I'm hoping I don't come across any polar bears. But, trees are dead ahead of us. Now, obviously, we're going to have to be very careful inside this forest, but we might get super lucky and find some more seeds. Just take a look from a distance. Okay, we've got some birds over there. I should really whip up some fencing and keep a stack of fences with me, because if we're able to capture a few birds and just get them, you know, fenced in, then we can definitely use that for later. Yeah, come back to them. Easily trap them and move them to the base. Alright, I'm going to be utilizing my zoom here as much as I can. Doesn't look too terribly overgrown here, but still going to have much lower visibility than just out on the plains, so let's be careful. Of course, I'm always looking at the trees too. Now there looks like there might be some flint over there. Of course, it could be lead or something too, so let's go check that. Oh, and don't forget, I'm obviously looking for... Oh, that's flint. Obviously looking for clay. Any other kind of minerals we can come across. What's that? It's a baby raccoon pup. Alright. Don't really want to clog my inventory with bushmeat right now. Yep, more flint. Is that lime or sandstone? I think we're standing on top of a sandstone biome. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Sandstone right there. Huh. I should probably mark that on the map. It would be good to come back. It's nice to have access to different building materials for one, but also, of course, there's other types of ores and materials that will only generate in certain types of rock layers too. So, yeah, taking note of all of our available stuff here, including the rock, is going to be very key. But, alright, you can see I'm going real slow, literally trying to look at every tree before we leave. But, so far, haven't died yet, so let's continue on very slow and methodical, and hopefully our patience will be rewarded. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, our reward is to turn away and move in the opposite direction of that group. Man, I do really look forward to the day when we get some armor and proper weapons, and instead of running from a group like that, I could just walk right into them and take them on. Because we're going to be clearing the dangers from this world as best as we can. But, alright, now I'm starting to get a little nervous here. This is some really thick forest. Yeah, we've got the sound of birds all around us. Oh man, the potential resources we could come across. Come on. Yeah, those birds. God. Okay. Let's see here. I'm getting a little nervous. Let's look at the map. Let's cut down. Let's keep going south till we get to the ice. Hopefully we can make it through. Just grabbing anything that isn't nailed down. Flint. Whew, man. Well, so far a couple extra flint is the best we've come up with on this journey, but I'm not giving up yet. Alright, let's be careful. Okay, yeah. Let's check out over in this direction. I think we can kind of skirt the hillside and cut in through the forest there. Yeah. Let's check it out. Definitely some interesting geography. We've got what looks like an exposed sandstone desert in the middle of our polar world. Yeah, well, that's okay. It's obviously not a desert in the traditional sense, but you know, I've been told that the word desert can actually apply to just any kind of a biome which is literally dead, you know, has almost nothing to sustain life. The moon, for instance, could be considered a desert, even though it's pretty cold up there too. Now this is fascinating, yeah. This entire area is not snow covered, so we found ourselves like a little band of warmth here. Wow, look at this. We'll be ready in 16 days. I think we're going to have a little celebratory snack here as we stand and look out. It's pretty open too. Let's just finish all that food off. Yeah, really hoping maybe we spot... Am I standing on top of clay? No. That's what I was going to say. Hopefully we spot some clay out here. Or even some copper. Look at this. We got some berries. Now wait a second. Alright, these are good. I think I might tuck these away in my backpack. We'll do some cooking with those. Yeah, they should stay fresh enough at least. Alright, I gotta be real careful about what we eat. Yeah, I can't just go munching on any old berries. That's hard. Lesson I learned the very hard way. Alright, let's be careful. This is definitely potentially wolf or bear country, but man, look at this. Even most of the water is mostly, at least, not frozen. Alright, this is a pretty amazing spot. Alright, we got more snow over here. Well, you know, another thing, could there potentially be wild crops? I mean, if there are, it's going to have to grow on this barren soil. I don't even know if that's possible, but... well, of course, if there are, we're going to take full advantage of them. I was just thinking maybe we could actually set up a base here. Could we grow? It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. It would have to be some really hardy stuff to grow like that. Oh, what do we got? Meteoric iron and suavite. Well, yeah, that could actually be really beneficial to us. All right, let's mark that. There we go. Sky iron. Beautiful. Alright, we'll come back for that, obviously. I'm not going to pick it up, but... we got a baby raccoon, it looks like. Maybe some more... flint? Yeah. Always flint. Nothing but flint. Alright, well, I'm going to scour this little area here. I might even pick up... let's see, how far are we? Yeah, I might even go ahead and pick up enough grass so we can continue to travel... and maybe we'll just try and find a place to sleep, you know? We'll see. This map is looking really weird. But, yeah, let's check this out and see what else this landscape has to offer. Unfortunately, I've looked over most of this, I guess, warmer region, whatever you want to call it, but I did not find any clay, a little bit more flint, a couple of trees with resin on them. I also came across another polar bear, but... he did not see me, so I'm not sure. Just an interesting little exposure of sandstone here. Obviously, we might revisit this place for resources or whatever, but I don't think I'll settle here. Now, I'm actually really considering underground farming for this playthrough. That's something I definitely want to try. Let's see. More. Oh man, getting a little disappointed not finding any copper. It's going to be real tricky, but I know it exists, obviously, because I have found it once there. A couple times, actually. Yeah, we got copper there and there. So if I get real desperate, I can just return to these places here. This is right near where we first spawned in, but yeah, light's getting pretty low. Let's see. Unfortunately, I don't see any hot springs nearby. I don't know if we can reach our little base before nightfall. I might just try and set up a fire at the top of one of these hills and sleep next to it. That should work, at least to keep us warm. Oh. As long as there's nothing nearby that wanders into us, we'll be okay, but let's get to the top of this hill. Interesting. Got more flint. Okay. Yeah, this spot's... I think this is worth scoping out here a little bit. Got some penguins over there, but I'm definitely losing light every moment that passes, so I've got to make a decision where to sleep. And I definitely want to keep exploring. Let's just make sure I've actually got enough grass collected here. 3. Okay, perfect. We got a little bit extra to start a fire. There we go. So we do have a bed. You know, this might be just the best spot to do it. It's a little early, but we are starting to get cold, I can see. And I've got the wood on me to actually get it started. So, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll see how this works. Sleeping out in the open in the middle of a polar world, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. That explorer bug. Oh, I gotta build it up. Oh, shoot. It's gonna go out. Dang it. I need some dirt or some ice or some snow. Yeah, let's grab a couple things of snow. Should do it. I heard it kind of sizzling, but I don't know. Oh, it did go out. Yeah. Alright, we gotta protect it. 2, 3. That'll work. Alright, let's get this started up. I've got a little bit of bird meat on me, and beautiful. We'll get that cooking. Toss it in. I still might have to dip into the berries, though. Well. Yep. We'll put that on there. And let's lay this down. Of course, it's going to have to be 2 away, so we'll put it right there. I hope that's enough. Let's see. Am I gaining heat from this distance? 94.8. Yeah, 95. Okay, we're going up. That's cooking. Let's see. Is there a nearby tree that I could grab? I've got some feathers on me, but it's probably not going to be enough. But that's kind of far, isn't it? Well, my scrap axe can handle it. Let's go. We'll grab this. Any resources along the way? Maybe I'll come across another bird or something. Probably. What the hell was that? That sounded like a bird, but I don't know. I'm not going to pick up the flint right now. Just want to have a little bit of extra firewood. Watch this tree have resin or something on it. The scrap axe, though, I did cut down a tree earlier, and it goes through them pretty nicely. Yeah, nice and quick. I mean, compared to a flint tool, obviously. Alright, so we'll knock this down. I'm just going to eat the stack of berries in my pocket. But this should definitely give us enough firewood to stay warm through the night. As long as my theory holds, and I think we'll be okay. As long as we're in proximity. What is that? Okay. We've got some sort of... That looks too small to be a serious threat. Let's see, though. Maybe we can get a little bit more meat. Nice. Yeah, downed it in one hit. That's not bad. Dead gray fox. I imagine that's probably on the same level as the regular foxes, right? Alright, did we get anything from it? Oh, got a piece of bushmeat. It's not much, people, but we're going to mix in a little bushmeat with our chicken tonight. Alright, back to the hilltop we go. Hopefully my bed isn't burned to a crisp. Let's see. Awesome. Everything's just the way we left it. Okay, so we'll switch that out for a little bit of bushmeat. Oh, wrong slot. we'll throw that in there while I chop up the rest of this. Beautiful. Okay, let's eat. And just in time, the sun is setting over the horizon. Beautiful. We're going to wake up pretty early. Let's just sit down here, monitor our temperature while we take a look at the map real quick. Yeah, 98.6, and I'm sure it's going up. We are slightly wet, but we'll get over that. So let's take a look here. I do like the idea of continuing to go farther and farther south. You know, maybe we'll come across more of these warmer regions. Maybe ones that actually have some wild plants in there too, or, you know, crops. But we don't want to go too terribly far because I will eventually need to go back and pick up my supplies. Because I would like to move. Well, I tell you what, let's explore this area. It's just basically directly south of us, nice and open, and it might actually be another place where there's very little snow and stuff. That could be cool. Alright, we've got some really well-cooked bushmeat, some feathers that are almost gone, but a whole stack of firewood to keep us toasty through this frigid night. Now, let's go ahead and lay down in our little straw bed and see what happens. Okay, well, yep, it's still 3 a.m. in the morning, but we definitely didn't freeze. In fact, I think we're maximum temperature. That worked pretty well. Certainly did. And we should have a little bit of... Oh, I've still got some feathers in there. Not to worry, didn't even have to use the firewood. But, oh, we did get a gray fox pelt. I might have to ditch that at some point, but regardless, the fire has gone out. I'm going to eat these berries, and like I said, it's too early to head back to the house, so... yeah, let's go southward and see what we can find out here amongst the landscape. Well, take a look at that. Some more petrified logs. Yeah, I'm underground again. Just, I noticed a little cave, so I decided to just peek in here. See if maybe there was easy copper that was exposed. Obviously, I couldn't get it yet if it's in the walls, but, you know, I could mark it and come back to it, so... not to worry. Hunted a couple of penguins, so we've got that going for us. Still on the lookout for some more interesting resources. So, let's keep going until we find something else worth stopping for. Oh my gosh. Well, no sooner do I say it than I come across the mother lode of copper here, people. This is great. And again, can't get it all, but... we're definitely going to save that, and I think this time, yeah, let's go ahead and just pick up the copper nuggets. This will help us, you know, get a pickaxe, a hammer, pray that even an anvil is in our future one day too. I got flints. I guess I can pick up the flint. I've got a full stack plus some. Well, yeah, that means I can. Alright, I've just got way too much crap. Let's see, what was I going to throw out? The fox thing? Yeah, that's not really worth that much. Alright, we'll grab those. Let's keep going. Big. Should I mark this maybe just a piece of... yeah, right there. It's on the map, but that'll help us identify the exact location a little bit easier. Alright. Whoa! Oh, crap. Nice. 2 hits with the spear at distance. Oh, what if he drops his weapon? This is the first one of these little guys I've killed. Hold on. It's not letting me do it. Oh, it's a hunter goblin. Okay. It did drop a little weapon. An andesite axe. I will take that. Yes, please. We'll use that for chopping up the actual firewood. Yeah. Scrap axe can be used to knock down the trees, and that can just chop the firewood. Well, we've definitely got a nice little pine forest with the... yeah, some exposed sandstone gravel, so... man, I really have to find some more seeds. Alright, well, either way, let's travel. Feeling better about this already, people. Okay, I'm gonna stop often. Got some exposed flint. Again, no pickaxe yet, but... man, keep your eyes peeled for some clay, too. God, if we come across clay and copper today, that would be amazing. Nonetheless, I might just be relegated to panning all the clay that I can get. Maybe that's why I decided to explore tonight, so I can avoid panning one more time. Speaking of panning, though, this is some good resource here, this sand. Oh boy. Oh yeah, they stick out like a sore thumb on this terrain, don't they? That's nice. Ooh, more birds. Yeah, I've got some... Oh, I don't want to be anywhere near that bear. Bears are so persistent. Once they aggro on the player, they just don't stop. Like, if there was a big body of water, I could potentially lose it, but I fear that just on foot, it would be a nightmare. And of course, I don't have a spawn point set, so it's going to be a random, like, 100 blocks from our death point, so it could be a real problem. Oh, he just kind of disappeared there. We'll just say he ducked down into the bushes or something. I don't know what happened to him, but as long as he's on that side of the hill, I'm okay with it. And still no more raccoon holes, but I have not given up. Well, we're losing light once again, but I'm nowhere near home. This is interesting, a hawthorn tree. Yeah, we're still on the exploration mission. Unfortunately, no clay or even a raccoon hole yet. I was hoping to find something exciting to share with you guys, but hasn't been much. A few caves here. Let's see. I did come across some brown coal. So let's put a torch. We got limestone. I don't think we'll go down. It's a nice little cave, though. We could camp here for the night, I think. We built a fire next to it, but I actually kind of prefer the hilltop. Just because it does, yeah, there's a lot better visual on it. But we're coming up to an interesting part of the world here. Let's check it out on the map. Yeah, so it's real open over here. Kind of coming back north. Of course, our little home was... Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it's at this little location. So it's not too far, really. I could easily get back and forth in a day's time. And I think this region's going to be worth exploring for sure. Oh, we got resin. Okay. I think I'll probably just mark this because I am getting pretty low on my inventory space. Yeah, there we go. And of course, I don't need resin right away. We will need it eventually for a beautiful windmill, but not to worry. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Hey, we got a hot spring right here. Oh, I didn't even notice it. It's fairly irregular shaped. Well, it's open. We can see pretty much all around us. Although there's a little over... Yeah, shoot, we could sleep right here. This is fine. I do prefer an elevated position, but yeah, now we don't even necessarily have to start a fire. Let's see. Should I, though? I've got 3 pieces of meat. Might as well. Let's see. I've got the grass for it, so set the grass there. Get a nice little fire lit. Oh, yes, people. So we're sleeping out again under the stars, but as long as we keep our wits about us, you know, we've proved that it's definitely doable. You know, we can safely sleep out here. But man, oh man, I'm not giving up. I want to continue to explore until I find, you know, a suitable base location, maybe even some clay, a few more of those raccoon holes. So I'm going to kind of traverse this area for sure. We'll head more north, maybe even check out this bigger body of water, see if that's an ocean or what. We just got to really start taking evaluation of all the resources, you know, from the stone layers to the water type, and of course little berry bushes and stuff. But man, oh man, we only possess 2 seeds and no grain whatsoever. So that is ultimately, I think, going to be the real struggle, is getting the foods that we need to get a diverse diet, you know. Obviously, survival's going to be a challenge too. There's still some scary stuff in the world which we haven't discovered yet. And who knows, thanks to the polar temperatures, they might be very rare, but no spoilers just yet. And of course, if you are interested in my total mod list, it's down in the description of the video. But I think we've come to a hopefully relatively safe space to end today's episode, guys. But don't worry, the series will go on, of course. We've got, I believe, 18 more lives left, and we've been successful so far in the previous few, so hopefully we can keep that going. But thank you once again, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, leave me some comments for the algorithm, and I will see you guys on the next one.